Hello and welcome back to Studio CWI Bracketology for our final week. The University of Kansas may have defeated North Carolina on the court to become the NCAA champions, but tonight we'll be revealing our very own Studio CWI Bracketology champion. Without any further ado, let's go over to Riley for the results.
Before we check out our final standings, let's look at our honorable mentions from last week. Governor Brad Little ended up finishing in a respectable 40th place despite his Boise State selection to win the national championship. And everybody's favorite producer, Mandy Price, ended up right where she was last week, at 49th. Now to the standings. In the faculty division, Maya Kelly won first place overall and of course first place in the division, followed by Jim Gatfield, who gives up his 2-year stranglehold on the tournament, and then third place is Dan the Man Garrity, who despite making everybody pick Gonzaga and shaming them into it, still managed to squeeze away third place. In the student division, Zach Zeiler took first place, followed by the man behind the camera, Joel Bernstein. Bailey Lupo relinquished her first place lead from last week and ended up in a very respectable third. In the friends and family division, Samantha Schwartz took first place, followed by John Collette and Alex Lopez. Now we'll bounce over to the winner, Maya Kelly, for a quick interview about her process behind making picks.
Hello, my name is Maya Kelly, and it looks like this year I won the CWI Bracketology with my NCAA men's basketball bracket. So Professor Dan asked me to sort of share my process for creating the winning bracket. So I thought I'd try to summarize it for you in this video. So the first thing I did was really some meditation on the nature of competition and sport. They often say that in order to win, you have to want it more than your competitor. So I spent some time looking into the biographies of some of the players to try to get a feel for what a championship might mean to them. And there's also the perspective that well-funded teams are more likely to be successful. So I did a deep dive into the endowments and other funding sources, revenue sources for the basketball programs in the tournament. I didn't want to discount intangibles like, when you look good, you feel good, and when you feel good, you perform well. So I figured that might translate to success on the court. So I did sort of an informal assessment of the appeal of the uniforms for each team. So once I'd done all that, I opened up a spreadsheet and I did a little work on a signature assignment that I'm going to send to my students later. And then I saved that, and then I opened up the bracket and picked the favorite to win each matchup. And there you have it.
And there you have it. Thank you all for playing this year's edition of Studio CWI Bracketology. We hope to see you back next year.
In a Studio CWI Bracketology first, we're going live to one of our class members, Jace Haslam, who's a member of the CWI Speech and Debate team. They are currently at the 5-Row Pi National Speech and Debate Tournament. Jace, how's it going over there?
Going pretty good, honestly. We're really excited to be here.
That is awesome. If I'm not mistaken, you haven't been able to travel for speech and debate in a couple years due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's been a really long uphill battle trying to actually get to a physical in-person tournament, and it's finally paying off. It's such a wonderful experience.
Must be great. What kinds of things are you doing over there?
It depends on what event you're entered into, whether you're specifically doing speeches or debate, so it can kind of differ, but for the most part, since we're generally in a hotel, you can be delivering speeches in, say, like a hotel room with your fellow competitors sitting on a couch with you. But in all honesty, that's still very worth it.
That sounds great. You personally, how has your experience been?
It's been amazing, honestly. Such a great experience being here. This is one of the first times that I've ever personally traveled this far away from home, and it's been a really fun experience getting to know people from all around the country, that sort of thing. So it's been fantastic.
That's great, Jace. Thank you so much for representing CWI over there, and thanks for meeting with us today. As you all know, here on Studio CWI Bracketology, we like to showcase the work of our classmates. I'm joined now by Nalani Breckel, who is using what we've learned in our video production class to highlight one of her favorite professors. Nolani, tell us about this professor of yours.
Well, Sharon McMorrow is a wonderful professor because she really just cares for her students. She's always, every time I listen to her talk in the class, I'm almost like memorized by what she's saying because of her passion and what she loves to do. I remember this one day she took like 2 hours just to make sure that I understood the assignment that I was doing, and told me about her whole life and why she loves teaching and why she cares about her students so much. And it meant the world to me to hear it from somebody that I look up to, from learning from.
Wow, that's amazing. And awesome that you're able to use these skills that we're learning to do something special for her. If you had to pick one quality, what would you say is that quality that makes Sharon McMorrow such an influential and effective professor?
Well, for example, when I asked her to do this for me, I gave her a question of a favor she did for somebody. And through her spring break, she took her time, her own time of her day off, and did a whole film with one of her old students and did it for them. And she had to go lay on a railroad track apparently in the freezing cold. And I just feel like not much professors or anybody would even do that for somebody. And the fact that she cares so much to do that just means the world to me.
That is awesome. So that dedication, I guess, is what you'd say.
Most definitely.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. And thank you all for tuning in for our final episode of Studio CWI Bracketology.